Hey guys, what's up? Back here with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about goals or just goals in general, and why I think they're important, and why you should set goals, and also the goals I want to set for myself for either the end of this year, next year, or into the future. Sorry, got a little bit of a cold, but anyway, before we get into it, make sure to like the video if you haven't already, subscribe if you have not already. We're trying to hit to 100 subscribers, which I'll get into that in a little bit. And yeah, comment down below any goals you have. Maybe comment after you watch the video. And without further ado, let's get straight into this with why I think goals are important. And I feel like this can be pretty self-explanatory, because goals obviously is something you want to achieve, and achieving your goals is obviously a good thing. To elaborate a little more on that, setting goals for yourself is like setting not a standard, but like where you want to be. Like I want to be able to dunk a basketball. Okay, how do you do that? You don't just one day jump up high enough and dunk it. I mean, maybe you could, but that's not realistic for most people. So like, what would you do? You practice running and jumping, like running and trying to dunk. Like that's pretty simple. I mean, it's not as easy as that for most people, but like I'm just using that as an example because that's something that most people can grasp. And but that'd be like a short-term kind of goal. And segue into that, you should have short, mid-term, and long-term goals. And how would I define each of these is short-term would be something that you could probably get done within days, weeks, to maybe even a few months. I'd say, yeah, a few days to like a few months at most. Or like right now it's October 2nd while I'm recording this, and I'd say a short-term goal would be, yeah, like I said, a couple weeks. It depends on what the goal is too. Like I'd say the longest a short-term goal should be, quit rambling, the longest a short-term goal would probably be like the end of this year, which gives you like, what, 2-3 months maybe, which I think that's a good time frame for a short-term goal where you could see some results. A midterm goal would probably be the 6 to a year range. I mean, you could also say that's a long-term goal too, but I'd say that's short-term. Like I'm trying to think of, not short-term, like shorter than a long-term goal. I'd say a midterm goal would maybe be the basketball thing. Like that could be an example. Or maybe like, oh, I'm saving up for, I'll just use this as an example. I'm saving up for a new car. This obviously is not a car you would drive. This is a Lego car. But I'm just using this as an example. Like, you probably wouldn't be able to save up for a Dodge Charger in like 6 months to a year unless you're just a hustler, which you will be after watching this, so I'll stop. Anyway, like, yeah, maybe saving up for a car or something, which in this economy probably not. Just things like that, like saving up for something. Or maybe you want to get to a certain weight, like you've been eating protein powder every single day, trying to bench 225, and you want to get to 200 pounds by the end of the year. I'd say that would be a decent short-term goal where you could measure it over the span of a few months. And it's also good to keep track of stuff, and I'll get to that after here. I'm sorry, this is unscripted. I'm working on this. I've recorded this a few times, and this is gonna be a raw video, so bear with me. And lastly, I have long-term goals, which this I would say is anything from a year, 2, 3, 4, however long you want this goal to be. I mean, obviously don't make it like your entire life. Maybe I'd say a year to like 5 to 10 years. Like basically however long this goal you think it will take you is your long-term goal. And this could be things like, I don't know, college is a good example. Like getting a degree for some people is a long-term goal. 3-4 years. I mean, you'll see that time fly, but that's I'm trying to think of like a good long-term goal off the top of your head. Actually, yeah, a car. Saving up for a Dodge Charger could be your long-term goal. Like this is your dream car. Like let's say you just get a little car, and then you eventually want to get a nice sports car. That could be your long-term goal of something you save up for. Where, yeah, I definitely didn't cut the video there. Anyway, like I was saying with long-term goals, something like saving up for a nice car, a house, or some big purchase that you want is something that would be a long-term goal that you could see progress for throughout a few years, and may obviously won't come eventually, but it would be more rewarding once you actually get that goal. And now I'm going to move on to how to track your goals. And there's a few ways you can do this. I'd say they apply to all, but especially the longer these goals take is probably the more important way to keep track of them. And I would say one thing is, I'm just going to use this notebook as an example, like writing down your goals is something that I do and something that can help you. I mean, you could obviously remember your goals mentally, but like writing down things like, oh, I want to get to 180 by the end of November or something. Like you want to be 180 pounds by the end of November. That's something you could write down and keep track of with things such as calorie trackers, like keeping track of what you eat or different things like that. And basically this whole thing is going to be keeping track of your goals. Another way you can keep track of your goals is with help with short or midterm goals is having someone to keep you accountable. Excuse me. This could be people such as friends, family members, your parents, maybe like advisors or different things. I would say friends or family that have like the best in mind for you, or like your best interest would probably be your best bet for people that would keep you accountable, or people that maybe have the same goals as you. Maybe you have some lifting buddies that want to get to the same weight you are, do the same things you do, or maybe they want to do more, or whatever the case. You could have these people that hold you accountable and make sure like, hey, did you do this? Or hey, how are you doing on this? Or whatever. Like here's a good one. Like, like a book here, like Mistborn. I've been trying to read every day. I haven't been reading this every day, but I've been reading other books, and I try to read every day. Maybe like you and your friends like keep each other accountable. Like, hey, did you read a little bit today? Oh, no, I didn't. I'll go do that. Like, just things like that to keep you in habits, and like just basically to build habits and make sure you guys don't fall out of line. And if you do, you can hold each other accountable and make sure like, hey, you got to do better, or you got to keep this up. Excuse me. And with tracking your long-term goals, this can be a little harder. You can use the methods I did say before, but they're not gonna always keep you in place, because like, or they're not always gonna be the best, because if they take over a few years, like, it's just simply writing stuff down it's not gonna change like you getting your supercar. I mean, I feel like that's kind of obvious. And so we'll use the car for example. Like, you want to save up for this Dodge Charger, and then in this hypothetical scenario, we'll say it's 100K. I have no idea what a Dodge Charger is right now, so we'll just say it's that. How do you track your goal? Let's say you work a job and you make $500 every week. We'll just say that, and you put, let's say, 100 in savings, and then you put 100 away towards this car. Eventually, you could build up enough money for this car. Obviously, I mean, that would probably take a long time with the way that is, but that's just an example of saving up and putting money away so you can eventually get your Dodge supercar. And yeah, that's one of the ways I would track your goals. Basically making your long-term goals feel like short-term goals. So I just put this car away and I'm gonna use it again. So let's say, yeah, you want this car. Let's say you start January 2nd or January 1st, you're like, okay, I'm gonna save up for this car for the next 4 years. How do you do that? Like I said, you would put money away in savings, but just putting away would basically like kind of eat away at you. I mean, obviously. I'm sorry. So how would you save up for this supercar? Or basically you make these long-term goals feel like multiple short-term goals. So say you want to get to 1,000 by the end of the month for this thing. The next month, 3,000. the next month after that 5, maybe the next month after that 10, like just things like that. That's a little bit exaggerated, but you catch my drift, I assume. So just things like that, like making these short-term goals or making these long-term goals into different pieces, breaking it up usually helps make things better and more foreseeable into the future, instead of, oh wow, that's a long way away, I'll never get there. Where, yeah, you can. It's just gonna take some time, and if you break it up, make it easier. And lastly, my goals for this year and this year and in the future, I'd say by the end of this year, one goal is I would like to get to 100 subscribers. I think I can do it as long as I'm consistent with uploading and trying new things and always trying to improve my videos, which I've been working on. It's just, I'm not the best with this. I'm still trying to figure it out and get good. So yeah, 100 subscribers would be awesome. I think right now it's like 64, somewhere along that number, which is pretty decent. Like, I'm kind of shocked I got it to 50 this year. So yeah, go subscribe if you haven't already. Shameless self-promotion. And yeah, I'd say that's my main goal by the end of this year, along with trying to get to about 170, 175 pounds, because I've always been skinny and I want to try to gain some muscle. I mean, I'm gonna go work out after this. Got my Nirvana shirt, you know. That was kind of dumb. Anyway, so I'd say those are my short-term goals, and I want to see some results by the end of the year. And yeah, so like that 3-month range. Midterm goals, some of my goals I have are, well, I'd just say the main one is I want to get a nice laptop so I can get better editing for videos, because let's just say using your phone isn't the best. And I just like to have a nice computer that I can use for work, school, videos, just whatever. And I think it would be fun to see like me saving up and working hard and just having the accomplishment of, hey, I saved up for this and now I can use it for whatever. And I'll just do one of my long-term goals. I don't know how I will achieve it, but I like to get a house, either by the end of college, I think is like my goal. I know that is kind of a stretch, but it's something where if I work towards it, I can get to it, like maybe putting money away or figuring out ways to build up my money, or just figuring out a way to get a house. I think that would be a fun goal. I don't know if I will achieve it or not, but it's something that I would like to do, because I'd like to have my own place to live instead of living in a dorm room, an apartment, or somewhere along those lines. And well, yeah, I didn't really explain like how I'm going to achieve my goals. I kind of gave some of the frameworks on how I would achieve goals, and those are things I do anyway, or should be doing more of. And with those out of the way, that was this video. I hope you at least got something out of it. Like I said, it was pretty raw, and I am still trying to figure this out. I'm gonna get better with scripting, actually trying to script my videos instead of me freeballing it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, make sure to subscribe, like the video if you haven't already, and comment down below some of your goals for either this year or just sometime in the future. They don't have to be like anything too crazy. Just say a comment. Don't say something I don't want to hear. I don't want to see that. And with that out of the way, outro.